Okay, the way we start these videos out, if you would give me your name and tell me where you're from.
My name is Linda Yelvington. I'm living now near Joplin, Missouri, and Goodman, Missouri.
I see. Alrighty, and tell me, what got you involved in this movement?
I've been involved in this movement for a number of years. I've been involved in the movement since the 70s. And what got me involved in it originally was that it just didn't make sense for it to not be legal for something that's absolutely harmless. You know, it just didn't make sense for me. But I became inactive over the years because of the penalties involved. There came a point in my life where I realized that the doctors were just shoving more and more opiates at me, and Zoloft and Xanax and whatever they could prescribe, and it wasn't helping, and cannabis did.
What kind of health issues do you have?
I have severe scoliosis. I was treated for that with the Milwaukee brace when I was a teenager, which leads to depression in itself. I had my hip replaced when I was 16 years old from a car accident, and I have de-Quervain syndrome on both wrists, which causes difficulty using a cane with the bad hip. I also have cervical degenerative disc disease.
I see. Now, what kind of drugs have you been prescribed to treat those conditions?
Hydrocodone, Darvon, Darvocet, I mean any type of painkiller I've run the gamut of. And I'm now at the point where, okay, we're moving up to, we gotta move you up to Vicodin, and we've gotta move you up to something stronger, but you know, if you take that, you're gonna need something stronger pretty soon after that, you know. And I actually started taking Zoloft when my father passed to get through a bad stretch, but because it's difficult to find a job that I can physically do, it gets depressing, because I cannot use cannabis and then go to a job.
Well, how does cannabis benefit you?
It works as a painkiller, it works as a mood elevator, a stress alleviator. Sometimes it works well enough that I don't need to take the pain pills at all. Other times it helps with the side effects of the pain pills, because the hydrocodone itself is going to make you nauseous. With me, the reaction to it is I get insomnia, I get anorexic, I don't eat at all. And so if I'm taking the pain pills, the cannabis counteracts those effects. If I'm able to just smoke and not take the pain pills, that's what I much prefer. You know, occasionally cannabis isn't strong enough to help the pain, or at least the cannabis that's available to us, because it's not medically available, is not sufficient to completely alleviate the pain. So I have to take a pain pill, but then I have to smoke the cannabis or I will not eat.
Well, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but maybe you can tell me a little bit more about the side effects from the pharmaceuticals that you've taken over the years.
Yeah, it's interesting. All of the painkillers cause nausea. They cause a lack of wanting to eat. They cause cotton mouth, and you feel funny and you're a little fuddled. And you know, strangely enough, you can take them and drive, which you probably shouldn't. I think that the worst thing is I have a horrible memory when I'm taking pain pills.
Really?
And cannabis, which they say is bad for your memory, I don't have a problem with. So the side effects of the opiates were that. The side effects of the Xanax and the Zoloft, personally, I've done well on the Zoloft. Some people have a lot of trouble with it, and I haven't had tremendous side effects from it. But I also know that had I been able to just smoke to start with, I wouldn't have needed that. And now I've got this drug that I'm taking that I can't just quit. I have to gradually come off of it because I'm addicted to it because it was prescribed for me, and I think that's sad.
What's the name of that?
The Zoloft.
The Zoloft itself,
yeah.
yes.
And
true.
Xanax is the same. You know, I have a friend who was prescribed Xanax, and she decided not to take it, quit taking it, and had a seizure the next day from withdrawals from the drug. So it's a shame that prescribing a totally addictive drug instead of allowing me the option to take a non-addictive drug.
But now, tell me, what side effects from the cannabis?
Well, it increases my appetite, which is a good thing.
Not a bad thing, is it?
It makes me sleepy, which is a good thing when I can't sleep. When I was working long hours and I would come home and just hurt all over, and I was too tired to fix something to eat because it just was too painful. If I smoked a little bit, my appetite would return, I could fix something to eat, and then I could sleep instead of being in pain. So the side effects to the cannabis are positive side effects.
The next morning when you get up, there's no hangover or
None.
any kind, like you have on opiates or
Right, right.
such.
And with the advent of the vaporizer,
Yes.
I can now say there's no side effects. Back in the day, we probably had a lot of coughing and congestion from inhaling smoke. But with a vaporizer, that's a moot point.
Yeah, and situations like that, respiratory irritants and such, a lot of that we wouldn't have that if we had quality cannabis available to us instead of the street stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Not only that, but I have developed allergies since I've moved here to different things that I wasn't around before, and cannabis really does help with breathing difficulties and allergies.
Sounds very good. Well, that sounds great. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Mark.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.